let's talk about yesterday's controversy. I think I've only had 2 controversies this week. I feel pretty good about that. Just kidding. You know, I feel more comfortable with my hood up. Okay, so what are we going to talk about? From yesterday, here's what we need to talk about. Okay, so yesterday I made that video about billionaires, high-end escorts, and why they're so petite. And it's to fit on private jets, of course. Things like truly considering your weight for private travel reasons, these are the fine details of being high-end. And yes, it can correlate to your income and to your opportunities, as you know, unfair as it is, as the size of your body. And I hope that you know me by now. I never speak out of my ass. I simply don't need to. I only speak from my experiences. And I'm talking about the billionaire clients. I'm talking about being fit. I'm talking about being thin. I'm talking about the size of private jets. And what type of jets you'll encounter when you're flying domestic. I think people don't realize that we're talking, the cabin is 4.5 feet wide. 4.5 feet wide. That is like the size of some bathrooms. It's absolutely tiny. And people are criticizing me for saying this. I mean, it was absolutely a fact. I could show you and simulate the dimensions of a light private jet and even a mid-sized jet. Even mid-sized jets are tiny, okay? Fat people don't fly private. I know you don't want to hear that, but it's true. And we're talking about, it's not like oh, these luxuries are only for thin people. No, it's just literally about fitting. Fitting, there you go. There's not fat billionaires. I don't know one big guy who flies private. And I've had a lot of bigger clients. I mean, you guys have seen Brad. Brad would never fit on a private jet. And we've never flown private together for that reason. So it's not even like, oh, the girl has to be skinny, but the client can be fat. No, nobody can. And I bestowed this gift of free game upon you in case, you know, because it's February. If you're missing your New Year's resolution of losing weight, it's a little nudge forward. That's what it is. Listen, I gained weight after I retired because I like being thicker. It's my aesthetic. This is not my personal aesthetic. This is math. This is science. And you can argue it all you want, but I mean, come on, I got hoes to mentor. I mean, listen, half the business is your looks, and then the other half is your attitude, your personality, and your skill set. Listen, when I was hustling, you guys gotta remember, I didn't have my surgeries then. I got super banging after I retired. I was never the prettiest girl with the clients or in the harem, but I was definitely the hardest working. There's beautiful girls, you know, with billionaires who don't get called back. It's because they have shitty attitudes, or they don't know what they're doing as far as being in the bedroom, or they don't understand how to be discreet, or their sense of entitlement is out of whack. So I'm trying to help you with the easy part, which is the way you look. Anyone can adjust the way that they look. Not everyone can adjust their personality, and that's what I teach in my Billionaire Behavior program. Looks is literally half of it, and it's so insignificant. I'll tell you how to look for free. It's not the difficult part at all. Well, I mean, what do I know? Brad is blocking the live. Of course, there's plenty of BBWs killing it. They're making 6 figures, they have sugar daddies, they have real estate. But I'm talking about billionaires. There's less than 2,500 billionaires on Earth. I'm talking about the most exclusive niche on Earth. I'm not talking about high net worth individuals. I'm talking about billionaires. And I've seen enough, and I've mentored enough girls to get to billionaires. And it's different. I'm not saying that if you're plus size you can't make money. Of course you can. And I see it all the time. It's not, you know, people are reacting to what they think they're hearing and not what I'm actually saying. I want to be Kylie's sugar baby too. Listen, say what you want about the family, but their bag speaks for themselves, you know? Like, you cannot like someone, but you can respect their hustle, and that's where I'm at with the Kardashians. I used to really look up to them because Kim is in fact a hoe. However, I just feel like, I mean, listen, they've managed to keep themselves in the spotlight for a decade. It's really, really hard, and I'm glad for their family that they did that. But in my opinion, for their brand, the only way that they're going to be able to retain people's interest is not by staying the same. And all they do is do dramatic shit. And it's just like in a relationship, right? If your partner is continually dramatic, you're going to get to a point where you're like, you know what, fuck it, I'm over it. And I think that's where we are at as a society with the Kardashians, is we're ending the relationship. It's like, I'm tired of looking at you every day. I'm tired of your bullshit. When are you going to do something nice? When are you going to do something good? When are you going to work on us? So if any Kardashian clan is watching this, that's my advice for your brand. You gotta grow. But they've done a phenomenal job getting to this point. But ratings are down. And I mean, we can publicly see the ratings. I mean, there's some YouTubers that get more views per video than the premiere. I think the premiere of their latest season only had 800,000 views. Now, don't get me wrong, that's a lot. But with the way that people have access to the world now, it's not a lot. I mean, you guys know I'm always talking about Pewdiepie. Pewdiepie uploads a YouTube video, and within the first hour, he gets 1 million views. And by the end of the day, he gets 5 million views. And he just sat in his living room and made a YouTube video. He doesn't even use professional equipment. I mean, he does with his microphone, but his video quality is not even good. So it's like, you guys have access to obviously all this money. You have professional TV producers. You gotta have brand consultants. I mean, I think people love to give Kris Jenner all the credit because that's the figurehead, right? The matriarch of the family. But you know that she didn't come up with all this shit all on her own. Like, of course she's got people. She's got a team that's helping her with this. Listen, I would love to be on that team. I could totally change their public image. I could make the world fall in love with them again. But they ain't paying me. You are. So I'll work with you. Pewdiepie, I love Pewdiepie because he's so self-aware and he doesn't really take anything seriously, which is great because that's the tone of the internet. It's not a serious place. I mean, of course there are going to be serious aspects to it, but in general, he reviews memes. And it's like, they're not serious. So his approach to his brand is genius. And that's why he's managed to be the top YouTuber ever. He grows with his brand. He started off as a gaming channel. Well, he actually started, before he was a gaming channel, he started off doing Photoshop videos. That was like the stage one. And then he evolved into a gaming channel. And then when that started to get oversaturated and dying down, he started getting into the memes. And he will eventually morph again to stay relevant. That's why he's been doing YouTube for, 12 years now? Channels die all the time because we fall out of love with the character, right? Everyone's just playing a character at the end of the day. And you just get sick of that show unless they do something different. And the Kardashians are no exception to that rule. I have a lot of respect for Pewdiepie because every time he does something, it turns into a controversy. But also that controversy translates into more money for him, more viewership. And he knows that. And he doesn't even abuse it. You know, like some people will use the Kardashians again. They know if they do something stupid, they'll make money from it because people are paying attention to them. But Pewdiepie doesn't exploit the power that he knows he has, the influence over the media he has. I think whenever he does have controversy, he fully enjoys the side effects, which are financial gain, considering he has to suffer through all of the hate and the, false news articles about him. And then, of course, the media has their own agenda against YouTubers because they realize how powerful people on YouTube are. The Vox Media, I think they get like 400,000 views on average per article that they put out, or that's some demographic. But when you have people like Trisha Paytas, who's famous for crying on YouTube, and she's getting millions of views just by uploading a 10-minute video of her eating a chicken nugget, It's terrifying for the media. So they really come for the biggest YouTube stars because they want to take them down. It's really fascinating, you guys. I mean, I spent a lot of my time researching these things. I know I'm trailing, but we're talking about branding. We're talking about marketing right now. Let this be a lesson in marketing. We can observe these public figures and you can dissect them and see how it applies to you, how it applies to your brand. We like to look at escorting as this most unique market ever, but at the end of the day, you're a brand. Just like every other public figure. They're all brands. They're all trying to do the same thing. It's trying to capture an audience, be the best at it, and make a ton of fucking money. And that's what you're doing. That's what we're doing. And you can get lessons just from observation. I once did an interview for... who was it? I don't know. I once did an interview for some media company, and they were like, Lydia, what advice would you give for people who can't afford your mentorship? And I just told them, pay attention. Just watch what I'm doing. Watch who I'm talking to. Watch how I present myself. Watch the content that I put out. Watch the frequency of it. There's lessons with just about business, just with what I show you publicly. The way I speak, the way I interact with haters. Like, it's all part of my brand. So yeah, if you don't have money for mentoring, just watch. Just observe. You think Pewdiepie would mentor me? No. So I watch his videos every single day, and I've done that for a year straight. It's the same way I learned how to cook. My grandmother, she wouldn't teach me how to cook. She just said, you can get in the kitchen, and you can watch me or not. So I got in the kitchen, I sat on the other side of the counter, and I watched my grandmother cook. She's a fabulous Sicilian lady who hates me very much. She's Catholic, and so enough said. But that's how I learned to cook, and I'm actually a pretty decent cook. I can make a mean sauce, and it was just through observation. So there you go. That is the free game that I'm bestowing upon you this morning. Oh, Taz's Angels, Jesus Christ. You know, they are a brand that I observed their marketing for many years. They peaked, I'm going to say around 2013, they were on. I had hella respect for them. Now, obviously, they market to squares with their poly relationship. Taz is a pimp. He used to be a DJ. He put out a couple hit songs. He's their P, and he had a bunch of girls who all ended up becoming celebrities, except for the two that are still with him, and they've just fallen victim to alcohol. I don't know if they're on drugs. I can't say that. I think they smoke weed, but they're very open about how much alcohol they drink, and all they do is they live in an apartment with no furniture. You never see Taz, and the girls are just so drunk off their asses. It's like there's no way that they're producing any type of income. I know that they have their Snapchat, but I've even read criticism on their Snapchat where they add people and then they post no content. So I have no respect for their hustle. I try to I respect brands. I respect marketing. Even if I don't like what is being sold or marketed, I feel like there's still a lesson that can be learned if you're looking for it. And that's how I always was with them. But they just fell off so recently. They were deleting my comments, which they actually put back and took a screenshot of my comment and posted it. They were talking about light eyes and blaming the dislike of brown eyes on society, and then trying to tell everyone why brown eyes are overlooked, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, it's just science. People find light eyes attractive because you can see when the pupils dilate. When pupils are dilated, that's a sign of attraction. So if you can tell someone is attracted to you, well, you like that, right? So it's science. It's not society. I base a lot of my teachings off science, off math. Marketing, brands, the failure of Taz's Angels. Why did it all go wrong? I think it all went wrong because they became more obsessed with being popular than they did about their money. And Taz's background is in music. It's not in business. And if you're going to take instructions from someone, they better have a fucking MBA or be an expert in the game. And like I said, Taz's background is music, and I guarantee you he does not have any financial degrees. So it's like, can you expect someone to properly guide you if they have no expertise? No. They just love his dick. And that's when you get fucked up. I never met Dennis Hoff because I've never worked in a brothel. And I also have no love for that man. He is a pimp and proud. And I know how brothels are run. And it's disgusting. Now, maybe as a human being, not a bad guy. I know that he was celebrated by a lot of people. But as a person who's supposed to be giving a good lifestyle and quality of life to sex workers, no respect. You know who else they had is Christina from the Ace family. Ooh, she's a very popular YouTuber with her husband. Like, they made stars, but then they lost it. I think they lost like 100,000 followers in the past few months. They're not making engaging content. Like, you guys got yourself so famous, and then, like, you ruined it. And there's a part of me that's really sad for the girls, because, you know, they're in love. They're trusting someone who is older than them, who's supposed to give them guidance, and he fucked it all up. So there's a part of me, like, I'm not even mad. I just truly am sorry for them. Like, but also, they're grown-ass women. They make their own choices. You know, we can't blame everything on the abuser. We can't blame everything on just one party, because at the end of the day, it takes two. Yeah, it's so true. Honestly, it's been really sad. Like, I got mad yesterday because they deleted, 2 of my comments. The other thing that I went in on them for is they're saying, hey, girls, you're stupid if you wear makeup. You look like a clown. We haven't done our eyebrows in ages. And I'm like, yeah, and you're not making money. Like, why would you, Kat, the greatest bottom bitch of all time, tell women not to be wearing makeup and to be, immaculate about your appearance? You're supposed to be a hoe. Have you forgotten where you come from? And now you're trying to encourage other women to tone it down? No. We live in a world of Photoshop, of Instagram models, of surgery. You have to be on point. It's images, like I said, image is half of everything. So it's like, dude, are you that fucking wasted that you're telling girls to do something that will hurt their back? And this is coming from a woman who lives in an apartment with no furniture in it. Like, don't listen to her. Just because someone's popular on social media doesn't mean that they have money. It doesn't mean that they know what the fuck they're talking about. All that means is someone knows how to make a spectacle of themselves. Like, they have to understand that as public figures, they have a responsibility to the public. And they do have real fans. And they do have young girls that look up to them. And it's so scary to me if girls want to aspire to be a loser. Like, young girls are impressionable. They don't know any better. I was one of them at a time. So it really scares me that they have such a large platform because they're not doing the right thing with it. So that's my opinion on that. I know girls who are mentors like me who have quality information, but they don't have big platforms yet. And they will, just like when I started off, I didn't have a platform. But, Taz's Angels, one thing is they have that longevity. They've been around for a while. Now they're like a dying star, which will eventually explode and turn into a black hole, which I think we're really at the end of their brand's lifespan. But it doesn't mean that I wish anything bad for them. I really don't. I wish for everyone to find peace and money and a break from drugs and alcohol. I mean, when you're on drugs and alcohol, your spirit is so damaged. You want to talk about selling your soul? It's worse when your spirit is damaged from substances. At least when you sell your soul, you can buy it back. So if these girls are consenting to that lifestyle, so be it. It doesn't affect me. But what does affect me is the public image that they put out that affects our industry. And they perpetuate every terrible stereotype. So it does affect me, and I am bothered by it. Because I don't want to be in the same group as them. But unfortunately, that's our industry. It's just like, look at any other industry. Look at the entertainment industry. Right now, what does that look like? It looks like a bunch of rapists. Every single person, I'm getting so many people in Hollywood and making them look horrible that there are some respectable male actors out there who are being overlooked, and it's like, oh, he's an actor, he's probably a rapist. You know, I don't want us to be in this category of like, oh, they're escorts, they're probably drug-addicted whores. And people with large platforms like Tyler's Angels perpetuate those negative stereotypes. So I get, like, about it. And you guys know me, I'm a very unbothered person. But I've worked really, really hard to commercialize our industry and put it in a light of, hey, we're entrepreneurs. We know what we're doing. We're educated. We're smart. We're good with our money. We're beautiful. You know, like, that's what the image that I want to present to the world. And it's not even just an image. That is true for most of us, especially people who are taking time to master their craft. It's a very hard line of work. I mean, I don't have to tell you that if you're already working. Right? They're not doing anything on their Snap. That's what people are saying. They're like, hey, paid for the Snapchat. What the fuck is the content? And you know why they don't have content? Because they have no girls. And the 2 girls that they do have are so wasted. I'm sure, I mean, listen, too drunk to fuck is a real thing. And I'm sure that is where they're at. It's very sad. Like, I'm not, like, please don't be mistaken. I'm not making fun of them. I'm not trying to hurt them in any way. I have no malintent towards them. But it's a fucking epidemic. And you know, most of the girls that are a disaster don't have a large following. People don't take them seriously, and they kind of kill themselves off. But Taz's Angels, you know, they hit the market at the right time. They struck gold. But now they have this platform that they're being so irresponsible with. But I mean, yeah, they don't get a lot of likes. The comments that they get, half of them are critical. The brand is listen, the brand is dead. It's been dead. And it's just like, I'm just kind of waiting for the following to fall off as well. And now listen, you're always going to have your diehard fans, and that's cool that they have those. But I think when you have a diehard fan that doesn't actually help you in any way, they're just enabling you. And fans can be enablers. I mean, we have a lot of celebrities who have these massive egos. And it's like, why? Because they only hire yes men, and their fans are up their asses. And that's not helping the celebrity. Everyone needs to grow. Even famous people, even rich people, even intelligent people. When you stop growing, you stop living. You stop making contributions to society, to your community, and you're not doing yourself any type of justice either. You should value your human experience. Don't do yourself like that. Okay. Now listen, my phone is dying. My nails are wet. And it's highly likely that my phone will die soon. I do have things to do today. So when this ends, it's not because I left you, it's just because my phone died.